Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a totally different way of thinking about time. It's an ancient perspective for sure, but wow, does it feel like it was made for our crazy, distracted modern lives. It's a view where every single second isn't something you spend, but something you are. So let's start with a feeling I bet you know all too well. We are constantly slammed, feeling overwhelmed, juggling a million things. And yet, we find ourselves with these huge chunks of downtime. Just endlessly scrolling, killing time, we call it. So what's the deal? Where does our most precious resource actually disappear to? Well, a huge part of the answer is this: 6 hours and 38 minutes. According to the latest global data, that is the average time a single person spends every single day staring at an internet-connected screen. That's more than a quarter of our entire day. Just let that sink in for a moment. And when you actually put that number up against other things, it gets even more wild. We now spend almost as much time on screens as the average person in a developed country spends at their job. And get this, a massive piece of that pie, about 2.5 hours, is spent just on social media. This is the black hole where our time is vanishing. All of this really forces us to make a choice about how we see time itself. The common view, the one we all kind of grow up with, is time is money. It's this economic thing, a resource you need to manage and squeeze for profit. But the perspective we're exploring today, it's a radical flip of the script. It says time isn't money. Time is life.
So, okay, if time isn't a commodity you can buy or sell, then what is it? Well, this worldview argues it's something infinitely more precious.
This quote from the classical Islamic scholar Hassan al-Basri just nails it. He says, "I met people who were more protective of their time than you are of your money and coins." I mean, just imagine that for a second. Imagine guarding your minutes with the same intensity that a billionaire guards their bank account. It totally reframes what's truly valuable, doesn't it? So why all the intensity? Why guard time so jealously? It's because in this worldview, your time, it isn't really yours to waste in the first place. It's actually a sacred trust. The core concept here is something called amana. It's an Arabic word that means a sacred trust or a deposit. From this viewpoint, your life, all the seconds and minutes and hours you have, is a gift entrusted to you by God. It's not your property, it's a responsibility. And just like any loan or any trust, one day you're going to be asked, so what did you do with it? This whole idea is captured so powerfully in a tiny chapter of the Quran called Al-Asr, which literally means the time. It kicks off with an oath, by time, which in Arabic is a way of saying, listen up, what I'm about to say is incredibly important. And what does it say? That all of humanity is in a state of loss, except for those who actively invest their time in belief, in doing good, and in encouraging others to do the same. Basically, our default setting is losing unless we consciously and actively use our time for something meaningful. And this isn't just some high-level philosophy. It's meant to be a super practical game plan for life. There's a famous teaching from the Prophet Muhammad that urges us to grab hold of 5 things before they're replaced by 5 other things. Seize your youth before old age, your health before sickness, your wealth before poverty. It's a powerful call to action. Appreciate and use these gifts while you have them, not when you're looking back and wishing you had. And this deep appreciation for time wasn't just some theory they talked about. When you read the words of classical scholars, you see just how seriously they took every single passing moment. I mean, listen to this. This is a jaw-dropping statement from the scholar Ibn al-Qayyim. He says that wasting time is worse than death. Worse than death. And why? His logic is that death just separates you from this temporary world. But wasting time, squandering that sacred trust we talked about, that cuts you off from your entire purpose, from your connection to God and the life to come. It's a spiritual separation. And here's another classic metaphor from Al-Imam al-Shafi'i that's just as potent. Time is like a sword. If you do not cut it, it will cut you. So time isn't this gentle river just flowing by. No, it's an active, powerful force, a double-edged sword. You either grab it, direct it, and carve out your path, or it just keeps moving and cuts away your life, piece by piece, leaving you with regret. It demands you take action. Okay, so this is all incredibly profound wisdom from centuries ago. But you might be sitting there thinking, that's great for them, but what does our modern world, what does science have to say about all this? Is there a real, measurable danger to just having empty, wasted time? Well, it turns out that modern psychology completely, 100%, backs up these ancient warnings. The science is actually shockingly clear about what happens to our brains when we have too much unstructured, empty time. Far from being a recipe for happiness, modern psychology shows that too much unmanaged free time is a direct path to a decline in our mental health. It's linked to a higher risk of depression and anxiety. It gets our brains stuck in these negative, looping thoughts. Extreme boredom can even push people towards risky behaviors. And at its core, it fosters this deep, gnawing sense of meaninglessness and isolation. It seems our brains weren't built for a vacuum. They were built for purpose. So really, it doesn't matter if you're looking at this through the lens of ancient faith or the lens of modern science. The core message is exactly the same. How we choose to spend our time isn't just about being productive. It's the very thing that shapes our well-being, our sense of purpose, the entire quality of our lives. So we want to leave you not with an answer, but with a question. A question to take with you. If your time really is the raw material of your life itself, how are you going to choose to spend the very next moment?